Please join us in singing number 361 in your gray hymnal, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Please rise and embody your spirit.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. The song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come
Joyful singing on this, well, kind of gray, slushy day. So thank you all. We bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space, sometimes absolutely literally, for what you believe. Your whole self is welcome here. In this community of open-hearted inclusion for all people, we do not expect you to think a certain way or restrict yourself to one set of beliefs. We only ask that you try to live a kindly, helpful life with the dignity proper to a human being. Welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect, any certain set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. We are so glad you are here, and all of those who are watching us now on YouTube or Facebook Live or will be watching later. We are glad you are here too. I welcome you warmly to the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington and to this worship service for all ages. Now, I am filling in for someone else, so I may stumble a little bit, but that's how it goes. My name is Reverend Karen Madrone, and I am serving as your worship leader today, and my pronouns are she and her. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today, or some who are repeat visitors. We are so glad that you are here. After the service, we invite everyone to join us in the reception hall downstairs for coffee and conversation. However, today, speaking of coffee hour, we've had a little bit of a change, so we're just letting you know that we are having what we're calling a relaunch. R-E-launch, get it? A relaunch, yes, for our children, families, and youth. It will begin at noon in Adams Hall, so just letting you know that the coffee hour time for everybody is going to be shortened, but you're welcome to take your coffee upstairs to the Marge Brown room and sit and talk if you would like to continue your conversation. We're just going to ask you to leave Adams Hall, so just letting you know that. This morning, we are delighted to have all of our younger congregants of all ages join us for this multi-generational service. We try really hard to be multi-gen service. This is a time for us to be together in ritual and song, and we might be moving our bodies a little bit more in these kinds of services, so just be aware, and we celebrate that. We enjoy our community and being together. But we also ask you to take a moment to silent your cell phones. Anything that you have that might ding or go off or buzz or anything like that, to turn that off. But you're welcome to still have your devices and still post about, hey, I have found these amazing people. You're welcome to do that, but just turn off the extra sounds. So thank you so much. So, have to begin with a bunch of announcements. So, hold on, okay? Because that's an amazing thing. Isn't it great that we have a community that is always very active? So, keep this in mind. This Saturday, February 8th, to join us for an afternoon of board games and fun. Everybody is welcome, whether you've come before or not. It's always a good time. A variety of games ranging from fun party games to more complex Euro games. So it's family, friends, anybody is welcome to just come downstairs from 1 to 6 in Adams Hall. So feel free to come. And next Sunday after the service, we're starting a new thing that we're calling a starting point workshop. And this is for anybody who has joined or is interested in learning more about what is this Unitarian thing or Universalist thing or Unitarian Universalist. Who are these people anyway? You're welcome to come to a workshop that is a little more in depth than what we do for the newcomer meetups. And so that will be after the service, and there was a link about it in the Friday e-blast and again this week. And please feel free to reach out to me to learn more about that. Coming up February 15th, so not far from now, we're having what's called a gold plate dinner. It's at 7 p.m. It's a Saturday, February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, and there's a link in the e-blast again and in the magnet that just went out. And so this is a fancy dinner with your friends. So this is downstairs in Adams Hall. And so we'll have a special dinner, and there's a great menu, and the cost is $50 a person. And of course, the proceeds come to the congregation, and this is a great time for everybody to. So please, if you need more information, to see Karen Duguay or Linda Brown. I know that, and there's more information, of course, in the newsletter. Sunday, February 16th, we have a Save the World program, and again, in Adams Hall to talk about things we can do in the face of so many things we can't change. Who's feeling overwhelmed? Anybody feeling overwhelmed? Okay. Every day, every single freaking day, there's another thing to be overwhelmed about. I just got to acknowledge that. And we have to deal with all these things many things we can't actually personally change. But I really like what Marie put in the newsletter. There are some things that you can still do. So we'll talk about figuring out what you want or need to address, how your skills and talents can be helpful in this time, and ways that we can actually put them to use. The best way to defeat our overwhelm is to do the next right thing. So come to this Sunday, February 16th at 7 p.m. in Adams Hall. Just letting you know a little bit that we're starting a new book club starting in March 4th. And so the book discussion is on the book called The Overstory. So just put that in your mind if you're somebody who likes to read ahead, but I'm sure it'll be fine if you haven't actually read it. But, it never hurts to spend a few minutes actually reading over it or getting to know a bit ahead of time. I want to let you know that coming up, we're going to be doing what we're calling a shoe fundraiser. So that means all of your gently used shoes that as you're replacing shoes, keep the old ones, because we're going to be collecting shoes. And so that will be starting soon. We'll be collecting them actually on our property. We also have some containers there in the foyer for those who can already bring them up ahead of time. And then one final thing, this is very, very specific to our committee chairs. Who's a committee chair in this room? Okay, I only see 2 of you, or 3. Our board president, Katie Coker, says that nobody has submitted their budget request for next year. 2 people have. Okay, awesome. If you have not submitted your budget request for next year, because we're always thinking a year or even further out, so get your information in. And obviously, there's always even more than what we could possibly list here. So make sure you get on our email list or look on our websites, and of course, follow us on Facebook and YouTube. So let's all take that energy to our chalice lighting, and Neil Cardone is going to light our chalice. So I'm going to ask you, because we like to do physical things, especially on our multi-gen days, so I'm going to ask everybody to put their hands out wide as far as you can while you're sitting next to somebody and say, "We are Unitarian Universalists. We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives." Love at the center of our lives. Thank you. I will read this next part. We light this chalice today to remind us that there is wisdom in, and we can learn from all the world's religions. Thank you. Now, please join me in reciting our mission statement, which is on your order of service. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. All right, now Argo is going to lead us in our Wonder Box.
All righty. Hello. My name is Argo Kramer. I am your religious education coordinator, and I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. So what I have here, if you're wondering why I'm carrying a box with an octopus on it, is because this is something we do called the Wonder Box. It helps establish a theme and bringing objects into our learning space. They will inform us about what we're learning about, not only today, but also for the rest of this month. So, I'm not gonna shake it because I think we broke the record for the heaviest Wonder Box ever. So, I have so many things, it is comically heavy. So, we're just gonna start and we're gonna guess a theme if we can. Okay, children, you know,
And we have space up here for any children who
if
want to come
any children
closer
who are
up.
far away and want to come up, you also can. I know we're up high. So we have a statue here. Does anyone know what this statue is of? Yes. Yes.
The Buddha?
Let me be your...
There you go.
Can everybody hear Argo? Okay.
Great. Okay, correct. This is a Buddha. This one, I feel like is a little easier. Children, what is this? Chalice. Yeah, we can say this one together. We got to know this one. And we use the chalice in our sessions, right? What does it symbolize for us?
It symbolized the sorrows, the joys and I forgot what the third one.
Yeah. I think you're right, we use the chalice in joys and sorrows. We also use the chalice, like, sometimes I go to a meeting with my colleagues and they will light a chalice at the start of the meeting to kind of set the space. We're saying this is a very intentional space. And here I have this and this. Does anyone know what these are? Cross. Does anyone know what these are? Beads, but Dante.
Rosary?
Yeah. All right, we're still going. Guys, we're not halfway through. We'll amp it up. All right, what's this? Oh. Yep.
I think it's the candle from Hanukkah.
Yes.
Yes, it's the menorah.
All right, I have two things here as well, two small things that people use for prayer. And then I have books galore and one more item. Can anyone read what this says? We might struggle with this title. This is called the Quran. And this book says the Pagan Book of Days. This book is called the I Ching, which translates to the Book of Changes. It's an ancient Chinese divination text. All right, these ones are easier. Where have you seen these books before? Here. These are our books. And the text is super small, but what is this book? Jude, can you read it? That's the Bible. And finally, I have one more object, and we're going to say, why is that in here? And this is a compass. Does anyone know why we would have a compass in here? Why does this relate to it? You can give it a guess if you want, or I can give you an answer. An answer? Okay. So some of our other religious faiths, they pray. And some religions pray and they have a very set standard. You must lay out a mat, you must do this, and this is how you're going to pray and feel closer to your faith. So for people that read the Quran, people who are Muslim, they use this compass to point toward Mecca or the Kaaba, which is their place of worship. So they always have to put this down and see where it's pointing and pray towards that. So that's like their holy land. Okay, so now the biggest wonder box ever, all of the objects are out here. What do you think, what do these have in common? I feel like this is, we can use some deductive reasoning.
They're all different religious kind of things, you know?
Yes, they are all different religious things, I suppose. We have a couple different things. We have books, we have methods of prayer, and we have some like objects or symbols. I think two of these things would use a candle. Does anyone remember our pageant in December where we talked about using the candle and how a lot of different faiths can use that? So today and throughout this whole month, we're going to talk about how different world religions can all be a part of our own faith and our own community. Because I bet we have people in this room where I pulled something out and they knew exactly what it was right away. They said, oh, I saw that every day when I was a kid, or I know why that compass is there, or I know different traditions. So today I invite you to explore some different people around us that may have different beliefs or backgrounds than us, but are still in our Unitarian Universalist congregation. Awesome? Sounds good? All right. Awesome. Then I think Reverend Karen can help us introduce our next activity.
So we are going to play a little game. Have you ever been at an event like a getting to know you thing where you're like sent around the room to go find who is somebody else who has this thing or has this experience? Well, our ushers are going to pass out a piece of paper that's called Find Someone Who. They're going to pass that out to everybody, and our children are going to pass out pencils that are in this box. If you have a pencil or a pen, you can use that too. So don't do anything until you have both this piece of paper and a pencil, and then we'll give you further instructions.
All right. Do you want to help pass out pencils? You want to help pass out pencils, or do you just want to sit and wait? You want to help pass out pencils? All right, I bet. What's your name? My name is Argo. Can I have like a pencil or two pencils? Do we have any pencils? All right, do you want to find someone to give this to?
Not yet. I told them to wait till they had instructions. Again, wait till you have instructions. I think everybody has a piece of paper now and something to write with. Okay? Can I have everybody's attention?
I'll sit there with the kids.
Can I have your attention? Oh, I think, does that mean you're missing a pencil or pen? No. Okay. Yes. Okay, so everybody has the piece of paper, and so what we want you to do is get up and move around and talk to people and find out who else here might fit one of the things on the list. And it's okay if we don't fill out the whole thing. And we're just going to do this for about 5 minutes. If we see people clustering together, we're going to ask you to move on. So we're going to just give you a chance to get up, and you can start now. Go find somebody.
A kid who does not know how to write, find your adults. They will help you.
Yeah. Okay, folks, move around, find some new people. And make sure to come up and talk to Brian and Diana. Okay, everybody, one more minute and then you'll go back to your seats. Okay, everybody. You want to go back to your seats? Let's do the, yeah, because I can't clap. I love that you're having wonderful conversations. That's amazing. And now if you could please go back to your seats. All right, come back, come back. Oh, you didn't bring your sheet of paper. I need a sheet of paper. I think is an awesome thing. We actually ran out, so it's a great problem to have, so I appreciate those of you who shared. So Judy's going to help me because we're going to go through some of these and find out what you learned about each other. Many of you have known each other for decades, and some of you just met today, but no matter what, we can still learn new things. So who had a response to number 1, has been to or received communion? Oh, look at all these responses. Okay. Number 2, has called the corners. Right, so that was a good question that people had. What is called the corners? Does anybody want to explain? Do you want to bring the microphone to? Yeah.
We did it in the drum circle. Can I get this mic on?
Microphone on?
Jamie.
Is it on?
Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We did it in the drum circle last spring in our festival.
So what is it? What does it mean?
It is a ceremony of the earth. So I'm gonna go.
Great. We'll take it.
Okay. Number 3, it's the question of who got a response to the question, has been to a mosque. Yay, look at all of that. Wonderful. Number 4, again, who got a response to the question, who believes in God? Look at these responses. See, we're learning all kinds of new amazing things about each other. Number 5, has been to a Diwali festival. Yay. Number 6, has a Bible in their house. Number 7, has gone to a temple. Wow. Number 8, and again, there was a few questions about this, has been earthing. Okay, so so we have responses to that, and I know that there were some questions about that. Says, are there anybody here who would like to explain what that is? You want to bring the microphone? Hold on.
I'll meet you in the middle.
Earthing is when you are barefoot and go for a hike in the woods and have conscious connection with the earth.
Yeah, we all learned a
Yeah.
new thing. Number 9 is agnostic. Number 10 has a Buddha in their home. Number 11 has a faith-based tattoo. Awesome. I actually have one of those. Number 12 is atheist. Number 13 celebrates earth-centered pagan holidays. Great. Number 14 knows a rabbi by name. Yay, look at all this. And number 15 knows what faith tradition the yin-yang symbol, the yin-yang symbolizes. Would anybody like to say what that is? Can you say that louder? Taoism.
Taoism, that was loud.
Okay, great. Yes. So some of these traditions are represented by our banners and some are not. And so one of the things that we've talked about is trying to share even further about why do we have these banners and how do they represent us. One thing that makes Unitarian Universalism different from all other faith traditions is that we say you don't have to stop being or worshiping or celebrating whatever it is you were before you walked in these doors. You can still be a Buddhist or a Hindu or Jewish or a Christian or a pagan or anything. The thing that makes us different with all of those differences, because we hope to learn from each other, is that we say we want to learn and grow with each other, but we don't say one way is the right way. So we build connections and we learn and we make sure that we're always making space for growing ourselves. So thank you so much for participating and finding someone who, and we hope that that helps you build even further connections with each other. So thank you, Jude. I appreciate that. You can go sit down. Okay. Let's take all that energy in to get our physical selves in this space together before we celebrate our joys and sorrows. We make space every single Sunday for authentic and vulnerable sharing, which helps to build this congregation into the beloved community we wish to see in the world. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, or other help. You are welcome to come pick up a stone or stones from our table here, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the singing bowl while its energy ripples out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please come up to the microphone, say your name, and speak directly into the microphone. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways. Now, Argo is going to light 3 candles for the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. One for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the gathered strength of this community that can support you and bring you peace. Now, I would like you to join me in a time of meditation and space right where you are. I encourage you to put your feet down on the floor if you can, if that feels comfortable for you. Try to shake out your shoulders. Maybe you're holding in some tension. Maybe you can just kind of notice that space. Maybe your chest is tight. I know, we all know that the world is on fire, but this is one of the places where we try not to let the outside world impact or keep us from feeling joy, because even here, even now, today, and even saying that makes me kind of choke up, so we still believe in love. We still believe in inclusion and support and a radical welcome for all people. This month we are focusing on inclusion, which is what we do all the time, but we're especially focusing on it now. So I want you to join me in closing your eyes and feeling this space. And remember a time, kind of try to go back to a moment in time when maybe you were new in a place. Some new experience. And you walked into a group of people who already knew each other. But you were being brave that day, and you decided, I'm going to do this. Going to be brave and walk in, even though it may be scary. I'm going to do this thing. I want you to feel that experience back in your body and think, what did it feel like that day? What made me decide today is the day I'm going to join this group or show up for this thing? Maybe your stomach was in knots. Maybe your chest was tight. But you decided you were going to breathe through it and go, I'm going to do this. And you're going to experience that for yourself. Now, I don't know what your experience was, but let's imagine there was somebody who came up to you and said, we are so glad you're here. It is so good to see your face today. Just feel that. What does it feel like when somebody says, you matter? Your presence here matters. What does that feel like in your body, deep down? Can you hear that for yourself now, of thinking, you matter. You matter. Your presence matters here today. In this world of chaos, new things are happening every day. Let us always remember what it feels like to be the person walking into the space, or maybe we don't know people, and what it feels like when somebody says that to us. I am so glad to see your face today. Seeing you brings me joy. Your energy matters. Feel that. And then, on the flip side of that, you are the person saying that to somebody else. Let's take a deep breath together. Let's all say out loud together, you matter. You matter. I am so glad to see you. Go back to that space in our heads, to whatever that moment was for you. Be grateful for that inclusion. And remember that we all have the opportunity to make a difference to someone else just by one small acknowledging and welcoming in. Amen. Our meditation song today is All Lifted Hearts, and Neil Carden is going to lead us in that.
Right. For this song, I will signal to you all when you want to come in. The lyrics are in the order of service, the last page. Okay. Oh, and this is a mix of singing and narration. So I'll be doing the narration, and I'll signal when you guys should come in for the singing. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea, all lifted hearts are free. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea. All lifted hearts are free. In the Talmud of the Jewish tradition, the sage Hillel said, "What is hateful to you, do not do to others." This is the whole of the law. All the rest is commentary. In the Hindu legend of the Mahabharata, the divine Krishna declared, "This is the sum of duty. Do nothing unto others which would cause you pain if done to you. It is written, it is taught, may it be so." Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea, all lifted hearts are free. In the Gospel of Matthew, in the Christian scriptures, the Messiah, Jesus says, "Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do so to them." In the Buddhist text of the Udana Varga, the student is urged, "Hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful." It is written, it is taught, may it be so. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea, all lifted hearts are free. In the Muslim hadith of Al-Nawawi, the Prophet Muhammad teaches, "No one of you is a believer until he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself." In the Tai Xiang Treatise of Taoism, the seeker is instructed, regard your neighbor's gain as your gain, and your neighbor's loss as your own loss. It is taught, it is written, may it be so. Many windows, one light, many waters. In the ancient wisdom of Shinto, there is a saying, "The heart of the person before you is a mirror. See there your own form." The Oglala Lakota spiritual leader Black Elk wrote, "All things are our relatives. What we do to everything, we do to ourselves. It is taught, it is written, may it be so."
Thank you. Bev Church is going to come share a teacher testimonial.
Hi, I'm Beverly Church, and I have been a member here for, it's going on 25 years. And I've been involved with the religious education program since my kids were in it, and they're in their 30s. And the volunteers who taught my kids, I feel that the program contributed to their being that they're kind and they're compassionate and they're very social justice minded, and I credit the lessons they learned here for helping them become those people. And I continue to stay involved. It's an opportunity to give back. I also think that the UU kids are awesome, and the other adults that I get to volunteer with are also amazing. And so at the end of the day, I feel like I get a lot more out of the program than I give back.
For our offering words, we have the words commitment by Dorothy Day. People say, "What is the sense of our small effort?" They cannot see that we must lay one brick at a time, take one small step at a time. A pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has a right to sit down and feel hopeless when there's so much work to do. One of those ways of work is by providing financially to our community. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of this congregation. You may also give online via the QR code on the back of the order of service. Thank you.
All right, so this next piece is a traditional Hindu hymn called Om Jai Jagadish Hari. And it's typically sang during worship while offering, I wouldn't say offering, but more like waving a flame in front of the image of a deity as an act of devotion.
All right. Yeah, we do have some. We try to translate it into English as well, so that you guys would understand. I wish we had that in your program, so you could read. But let's see if you come along. So you are encouraged to clap when I sing. Let's see. All right. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakt Janon ke sankat Das Janon ke sankat Kshan mein dur kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakt Janon ke sankat Das Janon ke sankat Kshan mein dur kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare O Lord of the whole universe, mighty Lord of the whole universe, all thy devotees' agonies, all thy devotees' sorrows, instantly thou banishest. O Lord of the whole universe, जो धावे वो पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति सब पावे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिले तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे He who immersed in devotion, he reaps the fruits of thy love. He reaps the fruits of thy love. Floating in a cloud of comforts, floating in a cloud of comforts, free from all the worldly problems. O Lord of the whole universe, मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आस करूं मैं किसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे Thou art mother and father, at thy feet I seek eternal truth. Lord, at thy feet I seek eternal truth. There is none other than thee, Lord. There is none other than thee, Lord, guardian of all our hopes. O Lord of the Om Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare.
Blessing that can be found in your order of service. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings. And Adele Lowry is going to share a reflection with us.
The triumph of humanity is to recognize diversity and difference, yet having the ability to bring people together and create bridges between them. Raphael Cohen Almagor. Today, I want to share a story about identity, diversity, and the power of curiosity. America is often described as the melting pot, where countless cultures and traditions come together, creating something beautiful and unique. This idea resonates deeply with me as an Asian American adoptee. My name is Adele Lowry, daughter of Marie Lowry. I was adopted from Vietnam at just 4 months old. Even before adopting me, my mom understood the mental challenges I might face as I grew older. She also recognized that there would be voids within me, questions about my identity, and sense of self that she couldn't fully fill. But she did the next best thing. She raised my sister and I with a deep appreciation for our cultural roots, encouraged us to embrace diverse experiences, and introduced us to people from all walks of life. My mom, despite not sharing our heritage, made it her mission to connect us to our roots. My love for learning about Asian culture began all the way back in daycare, where she introduced Lunar New Year to my sister and I and our classmates. She dressed us in traditional ao dai and chi pao, brought fruits to be eaten with chopsticks, and taught us how to say Happy New Year in both Vietnamese and Chinese. She read books about the holiday, handed out red envelopes filled with chocolate coins, and crafted a handmade dragon from cardboard boxes, wrapping paper, bed sheets, and streamers. Together, we paraded through the hallways, spreading joy and noise and celebration. These traditions didn't fully belong to us, but my mom made them ours. She gave us a way to honor our heritage while also teaching us to approach every culture with curiosity and respect. Curiosity is the key to embracing diversity. It's the willingness to step into the unknown, to ask questions, and to learn about the experiences and values of people different from us. Curiosity doesn't just enrich our lives, it has the power to heal divisions. It helps us build bridges across communities, deepen our empathy, and fosters understanding where there is ignorance. Through curiosity, we can transform what seems like an obstacle into an opportunity for connection. Growing up as the only Asian American in the room has been something I've become all too familiar with. As a child, it was painful and frustrating. One of the many reasons I was homeschooled for much of my education was the microaggressions and the bullying I experienced, not just from classmates, but from their parents as well. As an adult, I've encountered a different kind of challenge, sexual microaggressions from men. While many women face this, being labeled as exotic or foreign often make it worse. Unfortunately, with the worsening rhetoric about immigrants and the rise in anti-Chinese sentiments, these experiences are becoming even more frequent and dangerous. Ignorance can be a blissful privilege for those who are a part of the majority. But I encourage you to reflect on this privilege and consider how it impacts those of us who don't share it. Sometimes you don't recognize the privilege that you have, but acknowledging it is the first step towards meaningful change. We must begin with recognizing that our differences don't make us less human, they make us uniquely valuable. And it's through our shared humanity that we can build meaningful connections. Over time, I've learned to rely on my wit and quick thinking to protect myself. If you know my mom, you wouldn't be surprised to hear that I probably picked up those skills from her as well. When I was 12, my mom, continuing her mission to expose us to as much diversity as possible, brought me to this church that embodied everything she had instilled in my sister and I up until that point. Here, we formed friendships that we still cherish to this day. Through this community, we explored and visited a multitude of different religions, while also learning about interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity, values that further shape our worldview. These teachings reinforced us that diversity isn't something to tolerate, but something to embrace. These values have stayed with me, and they continue to inform how I live and work today. However, as I reflect on my time within the church, I look around now, and I can't help but notice the glaring absence of diversity in a space I once felt so comfortable in. When I was growing up, there were moments of representation, different faces, different stories, but they were the exception, not the rule. Today, I see how much more work needs to be done. The importance of representation cannot be overstated, especially within spaces like a church, where people come seeking connection, solace, and community. Representation isn't just about showing up, it's about being seen and heard in ways that empower and uplift. This is about feeling that your identity is valued and your voice matters. Without it, we risk perpetuating systems that marginalize and exclude. It's time for us and other institutions to reflect the diversity of the world we live in, to places where everyone feels truly welcome and represented. Representation is not just a matter of numbers, it's about the deep integration of diverse perspectives and experiences into the fabric of a community. It's about creating spaces where everyone can see themselves reflected in leadership, in teachings, and the very values of the organization. When we lack representation, we miss out on the full richness of the human experience. We fail to acknowledge the beauty in our differences, which are ultimately what make us stronger. As I grew older and transitioned out of the programs offered here, I stepped into a leadership role as the high school youth group leader. I attended young adult conferences and even participated in my first GA assembly, which ignited my passion for creating safe spaces that celebrate diversity and inclusion. A constant source of inspiration growing up in our home was a quote that hung in nearly every room: "Be the change you want to see in the world." In today's political climate, the urgency of these values feel even more critical than ever. The rise in divisive rhetoric, systematic inequities, and the targeted hate against marginalized groups threatens the progress we've made towards justice and inclusion. Interdependence and pluralism are no longer abstract ideals. They're essential for countering the growing polarization and fostering meaningful connections across differences. It's a serious and pivotal time where creating and protecting safe spaces for all people isn't just an act of kindness, it's an act of resistance and a necessity for shaping a better future. We need to take action. We must learn Asian American history and the histories of other brown immigrant groups to better understand their struggles and contributions. We need to stand up with political action to defend the rights and dignity of endangered communities, using our voices and votes to fight against injustice. Just as importantly, we must commit to the internal work of recognizing when we may be othering or appropriating and take steps to unlearn harmful behaviors. But even more than that, we need to learn to engage in internal work of listening and listening deeply. True change starts within, but it also requires us to actively listen to those who have been silenced. We must elevate their voices and empower them to share their stories. Representation matters. It shapes how we see ourselves and how we understand each other's struggles. Through representation, we create a world where all people can see themselves reflected in positions of power, leadership, and influence. In all of this, we must remember that the power created in change lies not in the hands of one, but in the collective strength of us all. Each one of us has a role to play in this fight, whether it's advocating for policy change, supporting organizations that work directly with marginalized groups, or simply speaking out when we see injustice. Every action matters. Change isn't just a dream, it's something we can achieve when we stand together, united in our diversity. Change starts within each of us, but its ripple effects can transform the world. Together, we can build bridges that bring us closer, fostering understanding, and create a future where everyone's humanity is celebrated. Imagine a world where each person is seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, where diversity is celebrated as our greatest strength, not feared as our weakness. That world is possible, but only if we all commit to bringing the change we wish to see, one bridge at a time.
We're going to sing number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table. We're going to only sing verse 1. So please rise in body or spirit.
We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. Hallelujah. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Join me in our chalice extinguishing, where we're going to put out our hands and say, we are Unitarian Universalists. We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. And I'll read the next part. As we go out into the world, let us remember to respect and not leave other religions or any marginalized community out. Everybody is welcome. Amen and blessed be.